Hey guys, do I have a story for you? About when I went to Brighton yesterday. I woke up 8 AM sharp and woke up Scott Post and I went, we need to catch a train. Okay, so we go around London, whatever. Scott Post and I, we're doing great. We're like, oh, we're gonna get our train, it's gonna be awesome. I didn't know that this train was gonna be an hour and 20 minutes, usually it's 40 minutes. So, I'm sitting there, hanging with Scott Post on the train, and we do absolutely nothing apart from watch TikTok. So, we get to Brighton, and Scott Post and I, we have some time to kill. We made it to Brighton before everyone else, before Fig. Fig didn't even, Fig lives next to Brighton, and we made it there before him. Okay, so I was like, let's go. This is perfect. We can relax, we can kick it for a little bit, and just, you know, have a good time. So, chat, and I'll map you how Brighton station works. So the Brighton train station works like this. There's a station, and then you walk outside the station through the road, and there's like a road that goes under a bridge. And this road like brings you into the town center, into like the town, okay? So like you leave from here and you walk down here, right? And that was very key, because that's where everybody goes to find themselves in Brighton, because it brings you to the only interesting places, because the only interesting places there are the shops, James Marriott, and the pier full of little shitbags. So we walk down and we're like, this is awesome. 2 minutes into being in Brighton, I turn into a street with Scott, and I'm quite the spatially aware guy. I'm looking around, I'm like, what's going on? I see Fig. And I'm like, Fig! But, okay, we didn't want to tell Fig. So we followed Fig and his friends for 7 minutes around Brighton. Fig turned around, looked at me, and just turned around again. And at one point they stopped and they were like, where are we going? And they turned around and he was like, ah, Maxggs! So, I met Fig and all of his friends. And that was chill. And that was right next to the lanes, chat. Let's put it simply, the lanes is the only interesting part of Brighton. It has loads of cool shops. And I went to buy a necklace because I don't know if you guys know this. I usually wear a necklace with a little dead fish on it. This is that necklace without the dead fish. So I went to buy a necklace with Scott Posts. And then Scott and I go on a date. Okay. We weren't really on a date. But we left everyone else and went to eat. And Scott posted this wonderful picture of me. It's me. In a restaurant. I don't know why. And, you know, we're having a good time. Hanging. Fig walks in and he buys a burger, but then he like, I don't know, he sits there and he annoys us. But it was fine, because we wanted to play badminton. So Fig, Scott and I walk to Sports Direct, and we were like, let's play badminton. And we find out every single badminton court in Brighton is private. So we can't go there, and we were stuck with Fig. We were like, let's share some impactful moments. So we went to the beach, and we skipped rocks together. And I taught Fig how to skip a rock. Fig doesn't know how to skip things. He goes like this. And just throws it. And he just throws it into the ocean, right? And before we say anything, me, my young Mediterranean self, Scott Post's high score, I don't know, like 3 or 4. Fig, 2. He skipped a rock once. And me, oh. I skipped a rock 8 skips in 1 throw. And you know, we were there having a good time. Okay, basically, we were skipping rocks together. And then we took this awesome picture on the pier. Wait, chat, you ready to see this? I walked with Fig to the beach, and him and I had a little silly time. It wasn't anything incredible, because we were waiting for everybody's favourite Scottish streamer, Bo. We were like, where's Bo? And Bo and Connie were like 20 minutes away from Brighton, and we were like, let's walk to the station. So we all walked to the station together, having a swell time. We're kicking it, me and Fig, and we sat there waiting for like another 10 minutes for Bo and Connie to get there. And we're waiting, and you know, Connie and Bo get there, and we're like, Connie and Bo, finally, someone who isn't Fig to hang out with. And we were there, you know, having a good time, hanging. It was great, it was awesome. They were like, let's go to eat at this random diner in the middle of Brighton. I really didn't want to eat, but I forced myself to. I was like, I'm gonna eat. We get to the diner, it's closed. This is where it gets bad. This is where you know, up until this, it was all fun and games. It was, let's record a TikTok, guys. Let's have some fun. We walk into a McDonald's. We were like, let's go and have McDonald's. I love McDonald's. And Bo and I take this wonderful picture, as you can tell, in the middle of McDonald's. We were there, hanging. We were having a good time. Okay, it was me, Bo, Connie, Big, and then like 4 other people with us. We took a whole table of 8. It was fun. You know, I was searching through Bo's phone. She showed me her camera roll. I really didn't want to see it. And then I come to find that Bo has AirDrop enabled on her phone, which not many people do. And you know, Bo opens her phone and she gets AirDrop something, and it is this meme, and I can find it. She gets AirDrop this. And we were like, okay. But we were in a group of 7. So we were like, oh, very funny. Which one of you jokers did that? We asked Connie. No, it's not me. Big, it's not me. Everyone else on the table, it's not that. It wasn't someone who was with us. And we were like, oh, it's just someone being funny. It's fine. You know, tommyinnit has 11 million subscribers. The chances it was someone who was there to annoy us was 11 million to 1. It just wasn't going to happen. So we were like there, sitting, hanging. We thought it was really funny. You know, Big starts airdropping Bo. I start accepting it. We have a little bit of a laugh. So I look up and I'm like, what's going on? To the like right of me was this group of teenage boys, and they were just looking at their phone, laughing, and then looking up. And we were like, okay, this is the internet micro celebrity life. Okay, clearly they're there for Fig. They're there for Fig. It's fine. I understand. Fig, he's you know, it wasn't for Fig. Because the next thing that Bo gets airdrop is this. So clearly, they were knowledgeable on the subject. Okay, clearly, it wasn't just, oh, it's someone who loves watching tommyinnit. And so we were like, very funny. So I just sit there, and I just look at this group of 3 kids, and they're just like, they just look down at their phone, and they're like, this is so funny, this is so funny. We just airdropped a famous MCYC. You know, it doesn't matter. And then Fig gets airdropped a picture of a boy sleeping. And we were like, this is odd. This is a weird resemblance. I look up, it is a picture of one of the dudes just asleep. And we were like, this is so funny. Okay, so we accept the airdrop, and we were like, this is so good. We probably airdropped something back. I can't really remember what it was. And then, it gets really bad. They airdropped Bo credit card information. On Bo's phone is just someone's credit card info. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, who does this? And Bo is starting to get, like, a little bit shook up. She's like, this is really weird, you know? She was like, oh, I don't get recognized that much. So, like, you know, we sit there and we're just not paying attention to whatever's going on. And then, Bo gets airdropped a screenshot of a notes app. It just said this. And I don't know if you know this, but Bo got hacked last week on Twitter. So clearly this wasn't some, I watched the tommyinnit video and I know who Bo is. This was like knowledgeable Origins SMP viewer. Bo got like a little bit shook up is the only way that I can assume that this happened. And so her voluntary reaction, I have a recording of this and Bo doesn't know, is to scream the lyrics to Jump in the Cadillac. This group of year 8 boys. So here I present to you a video of me in McDonald's listening to Bo and Connie shout Jump in the Cadillac lyrics.
Baby, you deserve it all, and I'm gonna give it to you.
What am I meant to tell you? I was like, oh, they're just gonna leave us alone. Like, you know, no one takes 25 minutes to scran their McDonald's anyways. They didn't leave us alone. So, you know, after our song and dance that was out of the blue, we get up and Bo's like, let's go. Let's leave. We walk out of this McDonald's. One kid goes, bye, Bo. Bo turns around and just goes, thanks for the airdrop. And I was like, oh, this is how you get stabbed in London. I don't know how she has the sass to do this. And we were like, that's really weird. Okay. We walk out of the McDonald's. The McDonald's had one set of seats outside of the restaurant. We walk out, first person, looks at Bo. It's a real quote. So not only did Bo get recognized twice, they go, oh my God, are you Bo from the Dream SMP? And she goes, no. And then I'm like, and then I like grab Bo, I'm like, let's go. You know, it was that, and we were in like a mall, so it had like escalators going down. And so we stood there on an escalator, and this kid looks over the balcony and goes, have a good day, Bo. And Bo just goes, okay. And we walk out, and the kid just looks devastated. He's like, and you know, that was just so crazy. And then I convinced my mum to let me stay an extra hour in Brighton, which ended up being really horrible. But that meant that I could go to the beach. Now that everyone was here, I was like, what an awesome time to hang at the beach. So, you know, first things first, we get to the beach. As you know, that was chill, swag, interesting, cool. And now we didn't have much time left. I'm gonna be real. You know, we didn't have basically any time to hang anymore. And we were right next to the Brighton pier. So, instead of going in and burning money by sitting in the arcade, Bo and I watched the sunset for like 10 minutes, talking about Twitch streaming. I know, such an impactful moment where we were like, oh yeah, Twitch streaming. But at least the sunset sunset was cool. I mean, look at the sunset. It was dope. And I looked down at my phone and I asked Bo, how long is the trip home? Like, how long is the trip to the train station? Like, what? Bo goes, 20 minutes. My train that I told my mum I would catch was in 19 minutes. So I walk into the arcade. I'm like, it was a pleasure seeing you. You know, have a nice day. You know, I looked for my train ticket. I was like, I need my train ticket. Like, I walk off the pier. I mean, I have a heart defect, and I've never ran so hard in my life. I'm running across Brighton. I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna catch this train. My mom is gonna kill me. My mom calls me on the phone. I'm 7 minutes away from the train station, and my train is in 8 minutes. I go, hello? And she goes, are you on the train? And I'm like, yeah, I'm on the train. And there's like a bus, like, honking behind me. I'm like, yeah, I'm on the train. She goes, prove to me that you're on the train. And I was like, Mum, I'm not on the train. I'm gonna be real. I'm 7 minutes away and the train's in 8 minutes. And she goes, yeah, I knew that you weren't on the train because your train got cancelled. So I looked like a fool. I was like, yeah, it did get cancelled. I didn't know that until I got to the station 5 minutes early. Maxggs has a cardiovascular defect and ran 21 minutes walk in 16 minutes. I mean, I'm the GOAT. I walk into the station. I sit there and I sulk. But my train home was in 20 minutes. I had to get to London, Victoria. I take my train and I was like, wow, this is the end to my day. You know, it is 9:30 and I was trying to figure out where I was going and I kind of took a random train and I ended up in Marylebone Station. It is like the most random station ever. I sit down in Marylebone and I'm like, I gotta plan my trip. You know, I gotta figure out where I'm trying to go because I need to be home. My parents are gonna kill me. I put both my AirPods in, full blast, noise cancellation on. I'm blasting Tyler Creator like it's the last song that I'm ever gonna hear in my life. I sit there in Marylebone Station and I get this really weird feeling. Chat, do you know the feeling of when someone's looking at you? I look up and it's just this girl looking at me and I'm like, it's 9:45. I take an AirPod out. I'm like, hello? She looks at me and goes, are you Max? And I was like, I'm getting back up. I look like a wreck. I've been out for 10 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm Max. Do you want a picture? And she was like, yeah, sure. Let's get a picture. And I take a picture and she goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, you know, what's up? And they were like, yeah, you're not the first streamer that I've met. Like, who have you met? They look at me and go, oh, you might actually know me. It's a really popular image. Last week, I met Carl, Sapnap, Jack, Niki, George, and Tina. I met this person from that image that went everywhere on Twitter. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, not only, like, am I getting recognized, but I'm getting recognized by, like, the person who went viral on Twitter this week. And that's the end of the story, you know? I lied. It's not the end of the story. I make my way to the right train station. I get on my train home. I sit down on my train. Usually, no one gets on this train. This dude sits next to me on the train. And I'm like, it's fine. You know, it's fine. He's gonna leave me alone. This guy is obviously drunk as shit. He starts, like, falling over his chair, and I was like, this is gonna be long, man. There's no way I'm taking this whole train. Chat, you know how trains have aisles? His girlfriend is on the other aisle. So as the little pedestrian people try and walk across, he's, like, snogging his girlfriend. And every time he finishes his kiss, he falls back on me. And I'm like, oh, just leave me alone. Like, seriously, just leave me alone. And they get so much worse when he invites his girlfriend to sit with him, and they're, like, there. Like, on their seat, and I'm like next to them. I'm texting a group chat with Millie, Keela, and Izzy Pixel. And they're, haha, this is funny. There is this guy making out with his girlfriend next to me. Genuinely, it was the most uncomfortable train ride that I've ever had in my life. All I wanted to do was like sit there and like use my phone. And this lady was just looking at me, and I was like, what do you want? I know we stop at my stop for where I live. Clearly, she's from like somewhere else. She reads the name of where I live and scoffs. What is wrong with you? You're your fucking boyfriend and you basically shagging on the seat next to me, and you couldn't just at least have the respect to not scoff at where I live. And I sit there 20 minutes in the freezing cold waiting for, because my mum wanted to know where I was, so she got me an Uber. And I was like, it can't get any worse than this. I go home, walk into the door. My mum looks at me and she goes, ow, look who's home. She goes, and I usually want you home when it's light outside. Light! It is 10 p.m, Max! And you have just got, and I was like, oh my god, oh, it's over. I'm gonna die. This is it. This is how my life ends. And then she let me go. And then I did an alt stream. And that was my day. That was it, chat. That was my little silly.